Salveta. So we're going to take a little look at the next section of Virgil here, the 760 through 776 section. And let me just say this again. I know this is a little bit of a rough transition. I mean, we had 1 week, one full week, then 2 days out for Thanksgiving. Then I've been gone this week. And this has not been an ideal transition. I know that. So do your best, okay? Let's not be ridiculous about stuff. Do your best. And if there's some stuff that's not making sense, highly encourage you to talk with each other, see if you can figure some things out. Don't hesitate to shoot me messages. I'll respond to them as best I can. And we will get stuff cleared up, I promise, when I get back next week. So try not to worry. Try not to think, oh my goodness, I'm falling behind. You know what? It will work out. Okay? It really will. So let's start this off in prayer. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Father, boy, do we need you. We need your comfort. We need that promise of this verse of the week that we have from Isaiah, that you will carry us through even into old age. So just pray for peace and comfort as the students are exploring the Virgil. We're certainly looking forward to getting back together soon. We pray that this will be a meaningful day and good productivity to be pleasing to you. And we lift it to you in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Okay, so we left off with, there was, Aeneas chasing Turnus, right? He's chasing him like this Umbrian dog, chasing a deer. And there's, in 758 and following, Turnus is going around to his Rutulians, like, hey, somebody, where's my father's blade, right? Somebody found my father's blade, my father's sword, and that's what he wants to use. 760. Aeneas mortem contra praesensque minator exitium, si quisquam adeat, terretque trementis excessur urbem minitans et saucius instat. Aeneas threatens death against him. And so this minator, it's such an action verb, right? So deponent looks passive, but it's such an action verb. He threatens death and against Turnus. In fact, he threatens, it says, praesens exitium. He threatens instant destruction, right? So Aeneas is a fierce character. Aeneas is a fierce warrior. And in fact, it says I take it back. He does not necessarily against Turnus. It says he threatens death contra, against, and maybe we don't know quite what the against is just yet. And immediate death, si quisquam adeat, if anyone should come toward him, right? So here comes Aeneas, he's like, where's Turnus, right? He's like looking to get Turnus, and if anybody gets in his way, Aeneas is like, and everybody's like, whoa, I don't want any piece of that, right? So he's literally threatening death and destruction against anybody who would come at him. And he terret trementes, he terrifies. He just scares the people who are trembling. Excessurum urbem minitans, threatening. Again, minitans is another form of minator from 760. So kind of repeating the same word here. Threatening that their city would be literally destroyed. Excessurum would be cut down. And he presses on against the wounded. Now, quinque orbis explant cursu. They fill with their running, quinque orbis, 5 circles or 5 circuits. And just as many they uncover, they retexunt, huc illuc. Basically, now here, now there. So they're literally just running around, and then one will stop and cut another way, and the other one chases after him this way, and then the guy cuts and goes back the other way, and the other cuts and goes back after him. And 5 times they did this. Huc, illuc. this way and that. Nequenem levia aut ludicra petuntur primia, sed turni de vitet sanguine certant. No kidding. It says, for they are not, says, for not levia aut ludicra, for neither light nor silly, right, ludicrous rewards are being sought. But rather, they certant, they contend, they fight for the life and the blood of Turnus. Right? We're not just talking about who's going to win the prize that you're going to sit on the shelf when you get home. This is about somebody's life. It's these guys are going at it tooth and nail. Now, forter sacer fauno foliis oleaster amaris hic steterat. Now, again, Virgil knows is a good writer. And this is very much something that you would want to write down as you're thinking about understanding this kind of literature and understanding these authors for the IB. You cannot keep your audience at fever pitch all the time. You just can't do it. And you think about some of the big action films. Maybe like, again, I always come back to the Avengers and these Marvel movies because there's so many of them. And they're great, right? There's big action. But it cannot be big action for 2.5 hours, no matter how much some of us would like that. Okay, I really like a big action movie. And there's sometimes I'm like, I have all that, silly romantic stuff in there, this silly plot development, and, let's just get after the action. But the fact is, you can't. No audience is going to put up with that. Just emotionally, you can't take it. And so you have to have these moments of a little relief, little release valve. And that's why you'll have a romantic interest. You'll have some comedy, right? You'll have some just other stuff that almost doesn't seem like it necessarily doesn't have to be there. But it does, for the sake of the audience, to catch your breath, right? So we got these two guys who are just going on, King Kong and Godzilla, and boom, boom, boom. And now he gives us a little breathing space. And he says, forte sacer fauno, foliis oleaster amaris hic steterat. He says, by chance, a sacred olive tree, amaris foliis, bitter in its leaves, had once stood here, sacred to Faunus. Okay, well, that's like out of nowhere. And that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to give us a bit of a pause. So now the camera kind of pulls back. We look at a little bit of scenery here. And there used to be this sacred olive tree. Faunus is off as an Italian deity, often associated with Pan, the Greek Pan that you may know. And it says, nautis olem venerabile lignum. A tree, a piece of wood, it's literally lignum's piece of wood, that was once venerable. It was honored by soldiers, sailors, by sailors. Servati ex undis ubi figura dona solebant laurenti divo. Having been saved from the waves, when they were accustomed to figura dona, to hang up gifts to the god of Laurentum, and to suspendere votas vestes, and to hang up their clothes as a votive offering. So what would happen, you'd have these sailors that, hey, they've been beat up in a storm and their ship was wrecked and whatever, they get out on the shore. Oh, who am I going to thank? Well, the local god was Faunus. And so people would hang things from this olive tree to dedicate to him. Very often their own clothes, as the wet clothes off their back, right? They'd hang these up as a sacred votive offering. But stirpem tucri nullo discrimine sacrum sustulerat, purat possent concurra campo. But the Teucrians, meaning the Trojans, had taken away, just boom, gotten rid of this sacred stump with basically no thought about it whatsoever, just nullo discrimine. They were making any, hey, we'll leave this because it's sacred. They cut everything down. Why? So that they could concurra puro campo, run through an open field. So when they were having their battle, they wanted to make sure everything was just cleared out so they could have a wide open space. Hic hasta Aeneid stabat. Here, the spear of Aeneas was standing. Huc impetus illam de tulerat fixam et lenta radice tenebat. Hither, huc is hither, its force had brought it fixed, and it was holding or stuck there in the thick root. Right, so Aeneas had hurled his spear, and as he's running around, he sees his spear there. It's in the root system of this tree that had been cut down. Little thing I jot down in your grammar notes is very much worth knowing. Okay, hic, H-I-C. You may know that as the pronoun, which means this or these. Hic means this or these. Heek, H long I-C, so put a long mark over the I. Heek with a long mark means here, H-E-A-R. I'm sorry, H-E-R-E. Means here, as in this place. And then there's hook, H-U-C, which is hither, or to this place. Okay, so they're all kind of related words. Hic, heek, and hook. So you want to make sure you get those words in your notes. Incubuit. Vovitque manu convelera ferrum Dardanides, teloque sequi quem prendere cursu non poterat. The son of Dardanus, all right? So Dardanus was an old Trojan king. And something you want to jot down, I would throw this in your, I don't know, literary section perhaps, is the word patronymic. P-A-T-R-O-N-Y-M-I-C. P-A-T-R-O-N-Y-M-I-C, patronymic. Now, patronymic is something that poets like Virgil and Homer will use. They will name somebody based on that person's father or grandfather. So, and often it's it can even be a city leader or a king kind of thing, right? So the sons of Dardanus. Well, these are just Trojans, right? You and I are all sons and daughters of Washington, right? The first president of the United States. So it's that same kind of thing. You know, what was another name for Americans? The sons and daughters of Washington, right? It's very poetic sort of a thing. And so we're referring to him as the son of Dardanus here. The son of Dardanus, meaning Aeneas, he pressed on, incubuit, he pressed on. And he valuit convelere manu ferrum, and he turned to hurl the iron, or that really would be the iron tip of the spear with his manu, and to sequitelum, to pursue with a weapon whom he was not able to prendere cursu, whom he was not able to catch with his running. So here they are to run around. Aeneas can't really catch Turnus. Oh, hey, there's my spear, which I'd thrown earlier, right? It's caught in the root system of this tree that my guys chopped down. Aeneas stopped for just a second, plucks his spear out. He's like, yeah, I'm going to throw the spear and hopefully try to hit Turnus. And then truly, amains, all right? Turnus seems like he's spending a lot of his time amains, away from his mind, out of his mind. Turnus then, in fear, said something. And it's a wonderful cliffhanger because that is the end of 776. Waleta.